Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Live with Roger Hanson. I'm Roger Hanson, and today's topic is going to be on strangeness again. With me is my co host, Karma Love. So, you want to say
Hi,
hi?
everyone.
Hello. Now, Karma and me discussed it, and today we are going to do a um, a freaking episode on well, just strangeness, really. It's about first. It's going to be about the Paris catacombs, and then we're going to start talking about churches that have been made out of human bones, which is pretty cool, and it all kind of goes hand in hand. If you've ever kept up with that stuff, you'd know what I'm talking about. So, with that being said, what do you think about that, Carmen? You like that idea?
Yeah, I like the idea that we're talking about it. I never heard of it before you exposed me to this information. Like, never ever even knew such things existed.
Uh
And
huh.
then like, for it to be so common, because even with the churches, see, I was thinking maybe it was one or two, but I'm sitting here looking at this list, and then it's just like it says here are the eight of the coolest churches made. So there's some that are not as cool that are made out of them, but there's definitely eight of them that are made out of creepiest churches made of bones. Here are the eight creepiest churches made of bones. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just wild because it just seems to be like, and this one's actually pretty though. But just for it, this one's really pretty. But the
Just
one
so
in
you
Poland,
know, I got the list of them, and if you want me to check with you, see if I missed any, we can do that.
yeah, okay. How many do you have on your list?
I've got the eight that you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Well, let's just make sure they're the same eight, because sometimes we find out.
Right.
Yeah. So, Kidoki, go ahead. You want me to read you what I have, or you gonna read me what you have?
I've got all of them right in front of me, and I can just say them to you. It's
Okay.
St. Michan's mummies that are in Dublin, Ireland.
Let me see. My already. Hold on. I got Peru, Spain. There you go. Same. Yep, I got it. Yep, that one.
Okay, Catacombs of Lima, which is the ones in Peru.
I just
Lima,
saw
Peru.
that one. So yeah,
And then I have Sedlic Ossuary,
I got that one. That's at the top.
and then the Skull Chapel.
Mm, yep, in Poland.
Okay, now San Bernardino Ella Ossa.
Bernardina. No, that's something. I don't see it. Oh yeah, Dos Asa, Capela dos Asa in Portugal. Yeah.
Yep, I
What
got
did you
that.
call it?
No, I've got San Bernardino Alla Ossa, and then I've got Capella dos Ossas.
Okay. Yeah, I have San Bernardino, the one in Milan, and then versus
Yeah.
the one in Portland. Okay, in Portugal. Okay.
And then there's St. Mary's Church, Wamba, and I've got uh, the wikis pulled up for those. So
I don't have St. Mary's. Let me see. Maybe I just skipped it.
St. Mary's
Da-da-da-da-da.
St. Mary's Church. It's in Italy or Spain, I believe.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
So
No, Portugal, Peru, Ireland. I just saw one in Spain. Oh, medieval Asa is the only one
yeah,
I have
that's
in
it.
Spain.
That's it.
It's the same. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's it.
okay.
I should have. I should have caught on to that. St. Mary's Church is the one that they're referring to. They're referring to.
Okay. So
So
you gonna which one you about to start with?
I'm gonna start with the best one out of all of them. Kind of smooth you in slowly. You know what I mean? Since it's your
Mhm.
first experience at this. So
This is crazy. Look at these skeletons. They have like coffins and everything. Go ahead.
Now I'm going to share the wiki link in the chat, so if you want to click on that, you can. I don't know if you got the wiki for it.
No, it's something else that I was looking at, but I'll look at it when you share. I got it now.
Okay. That way, if you want to read it, go along with us. Okay, now I got two for St. Michael's too, by the way. But anyhow, the catacombs of Paris are underground ossuaries in Paris, France, which hold the remains of more than 6 million people. Okay, built to consolidate Paris's ancient stone quarries, and they were the mines of Paris that comprise a number of abandoned subterranean mines under Paris, France, connected together by galleries. Three main networks exist. The largest, known as the Grand Réseau Sud, lies under the 5th, 6th, 14th, and 15th arrondissements. Okay, and they extend south from Barrière del Enfer, and that means Gate of Hell, former city gate, which I guess was the former city gate of Paris. The ossuary was created as part of the effort to eliminate the city's overflowing cemeteries. Preparation work began shortly after a 1774 series of basement wall collapses around the Holy Innocents Cemetery. Added a sense of urgency to the cemetery eliminating measure, and from 1786, nightly processions of covered wagons transferred remains from most of Paris's cemeteries to a mine shaft open near the Rue de la Tombe l'Issor. The ossuary remained largely forgotten until it became a novelty place for concerts and other private events in the 19th century. After further renovations and the construction of accesses around Place des Fêtes Rosichéroux, it was open to public visitation from 1874. Since 2003, the catacombs have been numbered among the 14 City of Paris museums managed by Paris Musée. Although the ossuary comprises only a small section of the underground mines of Paris, Parisians currently often refer to the entire tunnel network as catacombs. So, the history of Paris cemeteries. Paris's earliest burial grounds were in the southern outskirts of the Roman-era left bank city, in ruins after the Western Roman Empire 5th century end and the ensuing Frankish invasion. Parisians eventually abandoned their settlement for the Marcy right bank from the 4th century. The first known settlement there was on higher ground around a Saint Etienne church and burial ground behind the present Hotel de la Ville, and urban expansion on the right bank began in earnest after other ecclesiastical landowners filled the marshland from the late 10th century. Thus, instead of burying its dead away from inhabited areas as usual, the Paris right bank settlement began with cemeteries near its center. The most central of these cemeteries, a burial ground around the 5th century, Notre Dame de Bois Church became the property of the Saint Opportune parish after the original church was demolished by the 9th century Norman invasion. When it became its own parish associated with the Church of the Saint Innocents in 1130, this burial ground, filling the land between the present Rue Saint Denis, Rue de la Ferronnière, and Rue de la Lingerie, and the Rue Berger, had become the city's principal cemetery. By the end of the same century, Saint Innocents was neighbor to the principal Parisian marketplace, Les Halles, and around already filled to overflowing. To make room for more burial, the long dead were exhumed from their bones packed into the roof and walls of Chanier galleries built inside the cemetery walls. By the end of the 18th century, the central burial ground was a 2-meter high, 6 by 6 foot mound of earth filled with cemeteries on Parisian dead, plus the remains from the Hotel Dieu Hospital and the morgue. Other Parisian parishes had their own burial grounds, but the conditions in Les Innocents Cemetery were the worst. A series of ineffective decrees limited the use of the cemetery did little to remedy the situation, and it was not until the late 18th century that it was decided to create 3 new large-scale suburban burial grounds on the outskirts of the city to condemn all existing parish cemeteries within the city limits. The future ossuary, Paris's former mines. Much of the left bank area rests upon rich Latetian limestone deposits. This stone built much of the city, but it was extracted in suburban locations away from the habitation because of the post-12th century haphazard mining technique of digging wells down to the deposit and extracting it horizontally until depletion. Many of these often illicit mines were uncharted and, when depleted, often abandoned and forgotten. Paris had annexed its suburbs many times over the centuries, and by the 18th century, many of its arrondissements, administrative districts, were included previously mined territories.
Would you like me to take over?
Yeah, if you wanted to.
Okay. And Moose is here as well. I put it in the other chat just to remind people that you were on.
Okay.
But
that's cool.
The undermined state of the left bank was known to architects as early 17th century construction of the Val de Grace Hospital. Most of its building expenses were due to its foundations, but a series of mine cave in beginning 1774 with the collapse of a house along the Rue de Neuf, near today's crossing of the Avenue Definet Racheria and the Boulevard Saint Michael, caused King Louis, whatever number that is in Roman. What is it?
King.
What number is that?
Let me catch on to it. King Louis the 16th.
Okay. To name a commission to investigate the state of the Parisian underground. This resulted in the creation of the Inspection Generale des Carrières, Inspection of Mine Service.
All right.
Sir, are we stopping?
No, go ahead if you want.
I mean, it's up to you. The ossuary creation. The need to eliminate less innocence gained urgency from May 31st, 1780, when a basement wall in a property adjoining the cemetery collapsed under the weight of the mass grave behind it. The cemetery was closed to the public, and in all intramuros Latin within the city walls, burial was forbidden after 1780. The problem of what to do with the remains crowding intramural cemetery was still unresolved. Mine consolidations were still occurring, and the underground around the site of the 1777 collapse that had initiated the project had already become a series of stone and masonry inspection passageways that reinforced the streets above. The mine renovation and cemetery closures were both issues within the jurisdiction of the police prefect, Police Lieutenant General Alexander Lenore, who had been directly involved in the creation of a mine inspection service. Lenore endorsed the idea of moving Parisian dead to the subterranean passageway that were renovated during 1782. After deciding to further renovate the Tomb Isuri passageway for their future role as an underground specular, the idea became law in the late 1785. A well within the walled property above one of the principal subterranean passageways was dug to receive less innocence, unearthed remains, and the property itself was transformed into a sort of museum for all the headstones, sculptures, and other artifacts recuperated from the former cemetery. Beginning from an opening ceremony on April 7th the same year, the route between Les Innocents and the Clos de la Tombe Issure became a nightly procession of black cloth covered wagons carrying the millions of Parisians dead. It would take 2 years to empty the majority of Paris's cemeteries. Cemeteries whose remains were moved to the catacombs include Saint Innocent, the largest by far, with about 2 million buried over 600 years of operation. Saint Etienne de Grès, one of the oldest. Madeleine Cemetery, Arancy Cemetery, used for the victims of the French Revolution, and Notre Dame de Manteau. But this way, but by this way, the skeletal remains of several leaders of the French Revolution, including Maximilien Robespierre and George Danton, was transferred to the catacomb. I was gonna stop there for
Yeah,
now.
that's what I was saying. I mean, it's pretty bad when I hear your tongue twisting too. Now it's like, this.
Time to slow down the reading.
Yeah, but yeah, this is probably one of the most interesting stories I've ever came across, and I tried to do a little bit of it back whenever I first got into my my whole strange, bizarre, and unusual thing. I would do blogs about it, which I don't have anymore. I used to be on Blogger and Medium and stuff like that, and I do this, and then I've always wanted to go through and freaking make a video of it, and stuff like that, and kind of do something that way. But like this is a perfect opportunity to get into it and start bringing the topic up. So, what do
Like
you?
I said before, I had no clue that this is what they were doing with people's skeletal remains, first of all. And then I wonder if just because we know about it in Paris, are there other places about it that are maybe less known? And I mean, we know that there's churches made out of bones, but do you think that they started as catacombs or something similar, or do you think vice versa? They have the potential to. Well, see, I don't see how they would turn into a catacomb just because they're like a foundational landmark type thing. But I could see if they started as a catacomb and attempting to kind of cover it up, make it into a church. That would make sense. Like I guess we have to read where they came from and how they arose.
Well, from what you were saying right there, it brings me back to a lot of the research I did, and like And the only thing I can come up with is the fact that we have our ideas of what our burial ceremonies really were. Okay, like today, everybody respects the human body when it's dead. You know what I mean? They put it in the casket and they bury it in the ground, and they even put a nice suit on it and stuff. You know?
Unless they cremate it, then how do
Well,
we
yeah.
know
I
that
mean,
that's the body that goes?
yeah,
Like, how do
but
we know for a fact? Go ahead.
yeah, exactly. But it's still sanitized and
Yeah, embalmed
respectable.
and stuff like that,
You know what I
preserved.
mean?
Yeah.
Even
They
the
don't just toss it into, yeah.
even when they embalm something, it's pretty respectable about how they do it. You know.
Not when they cremate them, though. They just throw it into an incinerator and let it come out as ashes. Now, that is some wild stuff.
Okay.
Have you seen the cremation process?
Let me tell you a little bit about what they used to do, and
Oh,
like this
gosh.
goes even back farther in Europe, especially. Um, like they they believed that the freaking bones had to be cleaned. Okay, they would go and they would wash the freaking, or they would cut the body up
Oh, my
and a
gosh.
lot of the things,
Right.
and they would wash the bones.
Oh.
Okay, and then after they washed the bones, they would take
Oh,
what was left and they would put it in a pile in the freaking tombs. And sometimes they would use one tomb for more than one body.
that's
Okay.
how they did with, yeah. They do that now with the cremation. You can get anybody's bones. They tell you that it's your people's ashes, but what happens if some of the other ashes are left over? And but like that's disgusting. You're telling me that they would skin people to quote unquote clean the bones?
They
That's
would,
just
they would cut
disgusting.
them up.
Oh, it's
They,
so gross.
it'd be
Oh,
different body parts and stuff.
oh, what the hell? That's so nasty.
You know,
Just so that they could clean the bones to bury just the
just it
bones.
was important to wash the bones.
Oh gosh.
The
Just
bones had
imagine
to be
the
clean.
mess that that's making. Just imagine it. And then bodies get so hard after, maybe they're doing it right after it happens. Because bodies get hard after they have been dead for a while. So like that's just insane. How do and hold on, I have a question. Do
Uh,
bodies get hard even if they have not been embalmed?
well, yeah, it's
Oh,
when they stiffen up,
lose their
that's a part of the natural process.
yeah, it's like 6 to 8 hours though. The body does not get stiff until like 6 to 8 hours after it's been dead. It can't happen 30 minutes or 45 minutes later. It's not. It doesn't happen that fast.
Well, dang, Moose is here. Hey,
Yeah.
Moose, you know how
You know,
you, you know how to unmute, right? Or you're muted. I hope that should be the first question.
he probably does. He put in.
All right. Now, if you want to say hi, you can. You don't have to though. Oh, you already sent him a message. I was doing the reading, and wasn't even on the thing. But yeah, that
Hashtag.
that was one of the issues that freaking they had, and then like they don't really tell you a lot about Paris either, because like Paris for the longest time they didn't want to have anything to do with what was going on outside of their city, because first they had Britannica, and then they had freaking the southern part of France, which were split up, and they were fighting against one another. And Paris always wanted to stay freaking independent of both of them. And like you'll learn that if you ever read about Joan of Arc.
I heard of her before, but I never really read much other than what I had to in school. Like it was never like a free. You know what I mean? Like let me go read Joan of Arc. Like the only reason I got interested in the Iliads is because wild because we were talking about Palestinian and like a little bit of Roman history. Robot brings that up quite often. But besides that, why did Elon Musk tweet like the Iliad's great story to read? And I was like, that's crazy. I definitely am gonna have to indulge with this because how are we gonna sit here and have it on this side and then it's on this side? So yeah, that's the only reason I got caught up in that. Like I had to do that in school. I wouldn't be interested in it being my own personal reading but because we talk about it and then it's been like a subject matter around different type of platforms, it made me
Mm.
interested. So I've been reading it. Even your story even your story that we read on Mondays, which you're finally going to read to me tomorrow, is it makes me it like kind of parallels with some similar ideals and like just some type of practices. And so I mean, like I said, it was almost like a sign to me. When I see stuff over and over again, I take it as a sign.
Well, I mean, the story that I'm going to be reading to you is created by me, so there's going to be a lot of this mixed into it. You know what I mean? Because I'm just basically going off of what I know when I write. I don't try to like do
Mimic
make
anyone. You're doing it for
yeah.
your. I don't even like being in like when I'm writing. If I'm doing music or if I'm writing my own stories, like if I'm writing a make believe story, I don't like to be influenced. I don't like to be influenced by anyone in general because then I don't feel original. Like I don't like to really look to people for guidance or anything. Like that I kind of look to myself, and I do like the opposite of what most people do. They look for like influence, but me, I'll sit here and I'll attempt to remove any influence so I can see what I'm thinking. And that's one of those things that I kind of like about your story because it's interesting. Like I never heard of anybody that's like Tiana. Tiana is a wild girl. Like you
Yeah.
like her thirst for blood. You got to say it with, you know what I mean? Like when you say it, like I can hear like her thirst for blood as she, da, da, da. You know what I mean? Like that's what I think about. And like I told you, I can see her with her breastplate and she has a shield on her back and her sword, and she's just standing on top of the hill, wiping her face, and she has blood all over her arms from her last victim. And when she wipes her face, the blood kind of gets all over her face. And like, yeah, I can like, I don't know. It's
Hmm.
just I can see her. I guess I like her character. I don't know why. It's kind of wild. Makes me question myself a little bit, but I do like her character. I like love Tiana.
Like I said, it makes me question myself.
Right, it's a little bit. Like why is she
Why
so
am I
highly
liking this so
relatable?
much?
Why is she so relatable? You said thirst for blood, you say.
Yeah,
That's oh
right.
wow. She just kills everything in her path. You say this is like getting more and more interesting, more and more
so,
relatable. Stay tuned for Mondays. Like
so like here I can click this and maybe share it on the some of the pictures and stuff and share it on the
screen said,
screen share and
Kidoki.
get that set up and good to go. If I can,
Are you gonna go through the 8 churches after you do this one? You're gonna go through the 8, right?
yeah, I'm.
Kidoki.
It's all coming out. It's the good stuff. So let me see if I can figure out what I'm doing here. Yeah, there we go. And can you see that?
Oh wow, yeah, I do.
Yeah, okay. So I can pop this as full screen too, and see if it looks. Yeah, there you go. That's
I used to
really.
be so intimidated by skulls, but I'd probably be rubbing my hand over every single one if I walked through there.
And then this is Paris.
Even this looks like an oblique.
Oh, let me go back. There. What was you gonna say?
I said even this looks like oh no oblique, no oblique. I'm saying it wrong, but the obelisk, yeah. It that circle, this one right here. Look at it. It looks like the same thing I sent you in the chat. Look at the shape and look at how it does with the pathways coming from this side, coming from this side. That makes me wonder, like the symbol, that design itself means more than what we've been able to uncover thus far. Look at
Well,
it. It looks just like this picture.
a lot of it could have Roman influence too. And don't get me wrong, I mean, this might not have been built up most of it during Roman Empire, but they
Yeah.
still Europeans are weird that way, okay? Like the Romans were freaking they conquered freaking Gaul, right? They weren't freaking Europe's friend. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But for some reason when they got cast into the dark ages, they all of a sudden just you know immortalized Rome like it was like the golden
Just the
age,
infinite. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that they had lost so much. Like you'll see freaking archways in Paris and archways in freaking London and all over Europe where the Romans built an archway and they just turned it into a big trophy. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
and that's probably why you're seeing that. It could have a lot of Roman influence because I guarantee you that city hasn't really changed that much in the last 500 years. Well,
I wish I could see.
it's gotten bigger. I do know that much. In the sewage, they've really supposed to have done a lot of work on the sewage in the last 100. So, but they say Paris still stinks.
It's
So
funny.
I don't
I'm
know.
looking, but I just saw someone. They were on YouTube and they were talking about how we romanticize Paris, and they were there and they were like, Paris is basically just like they were like it's like being in like low income. They're like low, like it was just they was just saying it was like they
Hmm.
said ghetto, but I don't get the term for ghetto itself is not a proper description. But they were just saying like impoverished and it was really dirty and like but and then they even said the Eiffel Tower was not all that we make it out to be. And yeah, there was I picture lights and people like with berets, and they're just like, oh mon ami. And you got minds walking down the street, and they have their little white and black shirts, and they're like, you're walking with your lover. And then this is how I think about Paris now, mind you. And you're walking with your lover, and the mind is like messing with you and your lover. And
Yeah.
I see other stuff when I hear about Paris. And then when they said that, I was kind of disappointed. Like, wow, what? Because I
Uh,
never thought that would be a
That
description. And then you just said it, Paris. You said they still said that Paris still stinks, and
now
they literally just
can
posted
you
that
see my
video.
mouse on
Hold
here?
on, I was looking for this picture. Oh, that was the ruined atoll. I was because the symbol, the way that it looks the same,
Like,
just been bugging me,
see
and so
this?
I was looking.
Can you
But
see
that was the
this
ruined
cityscape?
atoll.
This old
Oh yeah,
painting.
now I do. Mm-hmm.
Are you able to see that?
I'm looking at it. It looks like a church in the background. There you see it at the top, and then it's just yeah in the middle. Are those bones on the ground?
Uh,
No, that's
Probably.
not. Those are carts and stuff. No, those are skulls. That's a skull over here on the bottom right. Those are skulls.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
and then right over here, yeah, those are skulls. Are you kidding me?
I
Look,
wish.
look, look! They're on the ground.
Yeah, I see them right here. You got skulls here. You got skulls over
Skulls
there.
on top of this thing.
See this dog over here?
Yo,
Uh huh.
he digging up bones. That's probably why he over there. He
Got a
get his
bear.
bones.
Got a grave right here. There.
What do they say this is called? This is what?
They won't let me navigate now. Oh, there we go. Ray Oxfors.
First, okay,
Canary
hold on.
de
Let me
la Rue.
screenshot it.
You're probably able to read that, aren't you?
Yeah, I just I gotta tune zoom it in. I just wanted to save it to my pictures. Rayos fur. Yeah, I think he said a rue. It's not rue, but it's Ray. Rayos fur. Chanel de la Rue Oxfors. Yeah, la Rue. So Rue Oxfors. Chanel de la Rue Ox-
Mm-hmm.
Oxfors. Is everyone?
Now we've got. Okay, so this would be. I'm guessing it's the ancient mapping system for it.
Paris terrain. Oh, can we go back, zoom out for a second, and then go back? Hold on 1 second. I'm just screenshotting as you go. You can zoom in now. I have it.
Okay. I I believe that this is what they're talking about right here. I can scale it left and right too.
When you stopped turning up, is that when you started going back to your research and learning, relearning all the stuff that you were interested in?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
it even told me cool stuff about when the Vikings finally invaded Paris. And right here, what I was trying to explain to you a little while ago was
Yeah.
this river that
Which one at the top? Oh, there you go. I
it
see.
runs right straight through Paris. That is where the Vikings was on one side, and they were freaking sacrificing their prisoners to Odin and forcing the people within the walls of Paris to freaking watch because they were hiding away from them, and the ones they couldn't get within the walls, they were sacrificing them to Odin.
Where on here, where does it come out at? Like it goes in, like where these on the, yeah, right there, and on the other side, where does that in and out? Where are those
Right
locations
down
at?
here. You see where the writing is down towards the left bottom part?
Yeah.
That's
What's it
one.
called? I mean,
Oh, let me. I can probably find the name.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
you go in, it looks like we can read it a little bit.
uh,
Gracias.
Luga.
Well,
Uh, right here is the name.
this G word? Oh, calcarea. Calcarea. Gracias.
Yeah.
Calcarea.
Let me see if I can hit it.
Exploitable. You see this?
Yeah.
Exploitable.
Gypsy exploitable.
Exploitable. Hmm.
Now,
They like zone exploitable. Oh, the zone of exploitation. Hmm.
it says Limite extreme de la formation du gypsy exploitable. That's interesting.
Limit of extreme of the formation of the gypsy exploitable. So that, and then you said that's where the Vikings used to go to force the people. Not the yeah, the Vikings used to go to force the Parisians to watch their people die. Right, like they used to
Right,
do it
because
right there,
they
and that's
were
the called exploiting.
they
Yeah,
they were well. I don't know exactly where the walls were during that time period, but
but
it was somewhere along this river.
I can imagine, but look at the name. It would make sense. I mean, like just the name itself is basically saying this is where we would format. This is where we get information to exploit stuff, exploiting their people, showing you, hey, watch this. We're going to kill your people,
Well,
and those are on each
the
side. It's on both
the
sides. That's a
Vikings
wall.
were invaders, though, and like they could also be talking about like the ancient mines that we were talking about too, where they would come here to freaking mine the bedrock too. So,
What
gotta,
what would mine in bedrock? Was it profitable?
I guess for them, they were they said that's actually what makes up the majority of the catacombs, and then they said that the catacombs themselves don't even make up even half of the freaking abandoned mines that are under Paris. So like, there's more abandoned mines under it than just these catacombs.
That they discussed.
Yeah,
So, excuse me, do you think that so that would be a good place to hide a body and it would just
people
go
get
undetected?
people get lost in there. All right, yeah, and bodies. You could kill somebody, take their body down there, and they'd never find it.
That's what I was just thinking. You just put it on the wall and it just fits in with everything else. You might have to
Oh,
hold on to it. I was just thinking the same thing. That's like a great place to like dispose of bodies.
you see that
That's
right there?
why. Oh, look at it.
Got crazy
That's
bones.
crazy. That's all bones. That's not even rocks. It looked like you would think that those rocks at the top, but those are like hip joints.
You see that? Different
That is
kinds of
so
bones
insane.
too. You got
Yup, got the skulls.
the skulls there. Then you got the
The femur, you said? Yeah, the femur.
yeah,
That's what I was just like. Yeah, hip joints, femurs. Yeah,
all of
elbow
them.
joint. That's so crazy. Imagine though. Like these are all real people's. Oh my gosh. You think there's power in those? Do you think like you know what I mean? They're powerful. They induce power, or some people believe that maybe.
There's a ancient religion that was before the Buddhists, and they believed that, like when you were talking earlier, or we were talking, and we were talking about cleaning the bones and stuff.
So disgusting, but yeah.
I was thinking of these people, and like some of the Buddhists still do it today, where instead of freaking killing, or no, instead of burying a body or burning them, they would take the body out into an open field and let freaking birds pluck their bodies clean. They just sit them out, let them ripen up real
That's
nice and
so disgusting.
nice
And
and
it's just
stanky.
sitting in the yard. It's just sitting
No,
in your yard.
they have certain conditions. It's got to be in a field and it's got to be away from water because the human body will contaminate frickin' the water if any of its parts make it to the water. So they don't like the idea of human bodies touching the water and stuff like that. And they also think that if you burn the body with fire, then you're contaminating the fire.
What?
Yeah,
You're contaminating the fire, but we come from ashes, so that doesn't really make much sense.
they don't. That's one reason why they let the birds pluck them because they don't like the
Believe in
idea.
it.
They don't believe in the idea of human ashes.
Ugh, that's
You know,
wild.
the ashes get caught up in the wind and the wind blows it away and the next thing you know it's contaminating the earth, the water, stuff like that. It's just better to let the birds eat them. Be done with it.
Mm.
What do you think? You think that's a good way of doing
No,
it?
no. Lay the body out on the front lawn. Hi, Bill. How you doing today, Carm? No big deal. Just getting rid of some dead weight. I got mine in the back. No, it's
I
not.
don't think so. No. What is this? We haven't gotten this
Oh,
far,
I get it. Right. It's a whole different ball game nowadays. You go outside and someone's burning, it's just letting a bird eat a dead body. No one's just gonna walk by. Back then, that was the norm, though. No big deal. We're just cleaning the dead bodies. Like, why would you have the dead body? That's gonna be the first question. I
but
mean,
it's
like,
your
just how
family
easy is it?
members. It's your family
Oh
members.
my god!
Now
That's just Uncle Jim.
the one I seen,
Oh,
the video I seen was freaking
oh
monks.
my
They
god.
had a monk in a monastery that they did to after he had died, but they wouldn't let you get close, or they wouldn't let the cameraman get close to see up close. But you did see the birds coming down and eating something. So
That's really disgusting, man. And like to make it seem like it's just like no big deal. Like I don't know. Just I mean, I guess it's technically the facts of life, but it just I guess that's the lack of respect in reference to what they used to do with their bodies and what they do now. I could not go outside and just watch like my grandmother getting pecked away by birds. Like she's
hmm
just sitting out there. Like that's just the only person I can remember having like a real solid. Like when she died, it was like a real hardcore reaction. And now she's just in the yard. Like, and how long does that last? How long does that take? How long do you think it takes for a bird, for some birds to eat a whole human? So the body's out there for at least a week. That's just disgusting. Like, oh my gosh. And I can only imagine the smell. No, it's no way. Mm-mm. I mean, they're still dead. And see, they don't even eat all of it. Because right now, on the pathway to walk out where my neighborhood, after I leave the neighborhood, there's a dead whatever it was. And it's still sitting there. Like half of it is still sitting there. What if they're not hungry that day? What if they don't come out and eat the body and it just sits in your yard and rots? No, there's no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. No, 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 no.
just
Mm.
it's horrible. It,
That's crazy. And I wonder they probably still do this somewhere because you know how like though you're talking about like even like African cultures. I was reading something and watching something that was talking about how African cultures and like Jewish culture, like talking about where child sacrifice is still practiced in certain cultures. So stuff like this is still practiced if they're still killing kids.
now, do you know how to read French?
No, not. You mean I can probably like no
Okay.
council of suppression of this was in English on the other side of the cemetery of the innocents, the habitat,
The
number
historic.
of corpse,
Oh,
um
you know
oh just a
more than I
little
do.
bit,
Yeah.
inspection of the general. And this is what I read when they said that they ordered them to stop. The men's whole train. This is where they used to do it at, where they hid the bodies at. In the subterranean, the mansion. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not fluid.
That's fine. They're explaining all of it. I wonder how old this is.
I wanna take a screenshot of this.
You want me to get the
The
photo?
link, yes. Yeah, if you can link it, that'll be nice.
Well, it's in the link right there on the side of Jitsi. All you gotta do is click on
Is
it.
it? You already
Yeah,
did it?
yeah.
No, I have that one. Is that the same picture? I was on that when I was reading. I was on that. That's
You
where that comes from.
Yeah, go on the wiki and click on one of the
Oh, I
pictures.
see it right here. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
But see, that's not that picture. That's the
Well,
how.
you
Oh,
you
it goes through
gotta
all of them. I see. I see. I see now.
you gotta
That's
hit
where it
the
is. Okay.
arrow on the
And that's the
side.
last one. I got it.
Yeah.
hmm
So is that the last one?
well, mine's it is. Maybe not on yours. Yeah, it is. This is the
Yeah.
last picture. Except we didn't look at this green one right here. Oh, that's just the entrance of to the catacomb.
Yeah.
You didn't. You skipped over that one.
No, I have that
Um,
one actually. I showed it. It was
I missed it.
just you was talking, so I didn't want to bring it up. Like
Yeah,
right
but
there.
it's so. Yeah, that thing right there.
When I got good conversation going on, I don't need to bring anything like that up. That's just like an entrance way. But you were saying some good stuff, so
It's not even as cool as these maps. This
no.
map right here for the whole inside.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like
Right.
you can't you can't beat that.
So I wonder how much they charge people to see this thing, to see a bunch of dead bodies. How much are people? Let me see how much.
There's so many entrance ways for these catacombs. You don't even have to pay. I mean, like
What?
they're still going around trying to find all the entrance ways and close them off from the public. I mean, people are literally getting lost in these catacombs.
I want to go in there.
You can, but
I know. I just was
just to
looking. It's there
understand
now.
though, it's a complete different underworld. I mean, literally, it's a underworld that's hidden away from people from the above world. So, I
And
mean,
look, we're talking about the ones in Paris. I searched to see how much it costs to visit the catacombs in general, and they bring up the ones in Italy. We haven't even touched those.
yeah. But the ones in Italy ain't nothing like this. I know which ones they're talking about. It's
Crypts and Roman
they're big.
catacombs.
They're big. Don't get me wrong, but Paris has everybody beat when it comes to these catacombs. I mean,
Wait a
they're
minute. We call cryptocurrency crypto, and the beginning of it says Rome crypts,
yeah,
crypts.
Crips.
What is the what? Yeah, I want to know what the word means, crypts, because we call cryptocurrency
Crips.
crypto, crypts.
Um, well, you
Let
should
me
know
see the
what Crips are.
etymology.
Yeah.
Okay, an underground room or vault beneath a
Uh,
church used as a chapel or burial place. A small tubular gland or recess. Okay, so crypt. Now let me see the etymology of it. Crypt, because we said crypto, a chamber, wholly or partly underground. That would make sense. Underground money, yeah, black market, especially a vault under the main floor crypt, because we call it crypto. So I want to see what the etymology says. Go ahead. I apologize.
oh,
It
it's
just caught
fine.
my attention.
No, keep reading.
Etymology, etymology. Because you know that that's how cryptocurrency is shortened, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's called crypto. It's literally just the O on it. Crypt etymology QR. Yep, there we go. And let me see what it says. A grotto, cavern, from Latin crypta, vault or cavern, a vault, crypt,
Yeah.
hidden. There you go, hidden. Cryptos. See, look, a hidden vault, feminine of cryptos, hidden. Verbal of female. Female version means hidden too. That's crazy. Cryptos means hidden in feminine version.
Yeah.
Verbal adjective for because they use Bitcoin to buy and sell children, and it's just interesting that crypto is the feminine version, and it means hidden. Like so, basically, I'm thinking hidden
Yeah.
female type thing.
Now
Verbal
you
addiction.
understand you understand the feminine and the masculine of words, right?
Yeah, O and A, and just depending on the language. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
usually O and A because L and La, and I do a little bit of French studying, but mainly Spanish right now because where I stay at, everyone speaks Spanish. It doesn't matter what store you go to, Walmart, everyone speaks Spanish. You have to know how to communicate in Spanish if you really feel like you're going to be able to get anything done around here. So crypto, see, before vowels, crypt was the form of element meaning secret or hidden, not evident or obvious, used in forming English words at least since 1760. Crypto Calvinianism, from Latinized from the Greek cryptos, hidden, concealed, secret. hmm That's wild. That's wild. Because I'm just thinking about it being having to do with the grave and dead people, and the fact that that's in Rome, and they're talking about
It's crazy,
crypts.
huh?
I
Yeah.
mean, especially when you go that far with it, it's definitely crazy. Yep, crypts and Roman catacombs, guided tour with coach transfer, small group, crypts and catacombs, tours with bones.
Now,
This is connected.
now that we've gone over that, you want to hit these churches now?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I have me pulling
Okay.
back up.
Now, this is one of the articles that I have concerning. Let me get back to where I need to go. Concerning St. Michael's. This is St. Michael's mummies. I can
This
read.
says the other thing. Can you pull it up? Because mine's just showing the catacomb. Oh,
Well,
you don't have it. You're not screen sharing it just now.
yeah, I can screen share it, but I got the link on the side if you want to use it. Uh, where are you at?
Mine's is different. Mine's is at echofiles.com. Eco or echo.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
it.
I
That's it. Now this is I've got this one sharing now, so
see.
it should be the same thing. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the same one you got?
No.
Okay. All right. Let me read this then. Down in a set of dimly lit narrow stone steps in a vault underneath the church lay dozens of coffins and one mummy ready to shake your hand. The mummies in the basement of St. Michan's or Mike Mickens Church
Yeah.
in Dublin, Ireland, are really only available for viewing because of a loophole in the rules of the church. St. Michan Church has an interesting history even without the mummies. The foundation of the church was built in 1095 to serve its ostracized Vikings. To serve the ostracized Vikings, who were still in Ireland after the rest had been killed or kicked out by Wolf the Quarrelsome. The other Irish forces in 1014, no, and other Irish forces in 1014. The church was rebuilt in 1686 and a large pipe organ was installed in 1724 Handel is said on which Handel is said to have first played the Messiah. But all along at the church changed, the crypt stayed the same, slowly mummifying all that way within. There are a number of theories as to why the corpses in the basement have been preserved over time. One is that the basement contains limestone, making the basement particularly dry and therefore good for mummification. Another is that the church was built on former swampland and that methane gas is acting as a kind of preservation of the bodies. Other theories involve the presence of oak wood in the soil or the building material used in the church.
That seems more likely.
Regardless of the reason whatsoever, no, regardless of the reason, whatever is preserving the mummies is also disintegrating their coffins.
Disintegrated.
After a certain amount of time, the wood falls away and a well preserved mummy comes tumbling out. This is where the loophole comes in. For though it would be inappropriate for the church to break open caskets looking for mummies, when the mummies reveal themselves, so be it. The mummies have indeed revealed themselves, while there are caskets strewn about and in small nooks in the wall. Some coffins are falling apart enough to reveal the arm or leg, and most visible mummies are the big four mummified corpses, which have no lids on their coffin and are displayed together. On the right is a woman simply called the Unknown, and well, there isn't much more to say about her. The middle one on the right.
The middle one is known as a thief.
Now on the right, I gotta make sure that
You want to see the picture?
see if there's a picture. Okay. Yeah, see, they don't have pictures for it, so. But that's why. Okay, so these are related. But yeah, they don't have the pictures of it on there to show. Other than, well, they got the coffins up here, which is cool.
Yeah, the ones that are falling apart, that were supposed to be falling apart. Yeah, maybe slide. Does it slide over and show more?
Yeah, it does.
Here you go. Here. Is this the? Go ahead. Now there's three,
There
right?
we
Those
go.
three
Look at
there.
that. Look at that. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Now we got we're on Broadway now, buddy. Okay.
On our way to Park Place.
Let me finish the article first, and then
We'll go through the pictures. Yeah.
That's cool. That is cool. They did a good job there.
On the right is a woman simply. That's where you at. And then you finish that one, and then the middle one is known.
Okay.
You passed it.
Okay.
You too far.
The middle one is known as the thief and is missing part of both feet and hand. Some say the hand was cut off as a punishment. It is believed the thief later converted and became a priest or respected man, which is why he is buried in the church. Or
why the church collect tithes. I'm just joking. Go ahead.
Or possibly he was never a thief at all and lost the hand in some other way. Next to him, on the left, lies a small woman, thought to have been and known as the nun. But the true story here is the coffin set apart from the others and belonging to an 800-year-old mummy called the Crusader. Though it may be apocryphal, it is believed that he was a soldier who either died in the Crusades or returned and died shortly thereafter. This assumes that these were the Fourth Crusaders, the only ones that match with a date of 800 years old. Curiously, the Fourth Crusades turned into a kind of piratical free-for-all, ending in the sacking of Constantinople without the permission of the church. The Crusader was quite tall for the time, 6.5 feet tall, a giant back then, and his legs had been broken and folded up under him to fit him into the small coffin. His hands stretched out of the casket slightly, and visitors were once encouraged to give it a shake.
Oh my God. What in the world?
The crypt also holds the coffin of the Shear brothers, who were executed by the British, and as was discovered recently, drawn and quartered as well. for the rising of 1798, as well as mathematician William Rowan Hamilton, the many earls of Kenmare, and supposedly, though others claim him too, the remains of Robert Emmet, the Irish rebel killed by the British in 1803. The crypt is said to have been visited by a young Bram Stoker, inspiring a certain morbid streak that would later serve quite well for the author. And updated as of July 2023, the church is no longer open to visitors.
Oh man, we just missed it. Oh wait, hold on.
Mhm.
And then it reopened in September though.
Yeah, update
But
as of September 2023.
good, we just made it.
The church has reopened for visitors but is restricted to Tuesdays and Thursdays with limited hours. Call
I
before
wonder.
attempting to visit.
That's because they're refilling it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Are we still allowed to shake the mummy's hand?
The dead guy's hand, right? They're like, we're putting new dead guys in, and this just in, we're updating, we're updating,
We're refurbishing.
Oh my
We're
god!
bringing in new stock.
That's when you get to choose which side you would like to go in. You go in on the left or you go in on the right. You go in on the left, you don't come out though.
Yeah, but how are they getting the bodies?
Right.
This is Ireland. I mean,
Just what do you have to do the other days of the week? You know you're restocking. Come on now.
yeah.
That's probably good for it
It's
too.
like-
I mean, that's a good cover anyway.
I hope Rapid doesn't. Oh wait, Rapid Scottish. Never mind. Don't worry about it. I was ready to say, hope Rapid's not listening to this, but he's
I
Scottish.
caught him Rapid and Retro. Is it the same?
No,
Is Retro
Retro.
game?
Retro is Retro Cheats. Now, Rapid is Rapid Glitch.
And then he does retro gaming though.
Yeah, he does retro gaming.
That's what had me thrown because he uses the name Retro in his for his channel and stuff. And then and so but his name is Rapid. So I kept calling him like I know his name is Rapid. That's why nostalgia was easier for me because I remember us discussing how it used to be nostalgia, and then you got used to it, and then as soon as you got used to it, he turned it to Rapid, and then so that's why you were calling it nostalgia.
See these caskets?
Yeah, no, they look at how fancy they are. They look like Jack in the Boxes. Or if you ever been to a magician show,
Yeah, these weren't peasants. These definitely weren't peasants.
But even rich people now, they don't put that much detail and attention to a casket.
Oh,
It might be
rich
expensive.
Rich people back then did. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to remember, it was all about show back then.
true.
I mean,
People got
they,
buried with it.
they hired people to cry at their weddings or their funerals.
Oh man, we're holding up a sign. Cry now. Used to cry. Oh, this is the
Yeah, this is the passageway.
this whole bottom jaw is just like this new bottom.
This be there's the three caskets right there. See that?
Yeah, which one is the one Christina supposed to be?
The one on the right is freaking the unknown. That would probably be this one. And then there's the nun.
Oh.
And wait, no.
The thief is in the middle and the nut on the other side.
Yeah, the thief is in the middle. And right there you can see his hand is gone.
And then the little one,
That would probably be the big guy who had to have his legs chopped up or folded up to be put in there. What do you think about that? You think somebody should do that to another person if they're too tall? Just break their legs.
No, I don't really think that'd go well. It's probably some type of feeling of inferior, especially if the person was still alive. It's like, oh, are you jealous that you're not that tall? Poor little baby.
No, we're not talking. We're not talking about when they're alive, man.
No, just get a shoehorn, get a casket horn. I imagine like how there's a shoehorn and stuff shoes, even though most people don't use shoehorns to stretch shoes. I do so. but you could get a casket horn. Do they not custom size caskets now? They do custom sizes now. What is that? A fish? No.
That's the entrance way.
See, that looks like the old school basements. I used to have to go out, and my grandma used to have that like attached to her house like that. That's how you go outside to get it. That's how you go in her basement. But see, this isn't making sense because you said one of the guys had their legs folded. But what about the nun? I thought there was a little body that was the nun. There was a thief, and then there was the unknown lady.
Uh,
So I don't.
this is the close. This is a closer one and a better shot of it. So, like right here, you can see this guy's got really long legs, but this one,
So, look at the hand. You can see the hand is right there.
yeah. Now he's the one that I guess shook your hand, wasn't he?
I thought hair continues to grow as you die. I thought people could really long hair, really long fingernails.
You're putting your finger over the phone
Oh,
again.
I said they don't get really long hair and really long fingernails. I thought hair keeps growing and so do fingernails. That's not true.
Well, you got to remember how many hundreds of years. Like
Oh,
he's supposed to be like 800 years dead. I mean,
yeah. Eventually, eventually that makes sense. That makes sense then.
the hair is gonna go
I wonder why
away.
they don't use dead people's. Oh, because you're not allowed to dig them up. Must they use their hair for wigs and stuff as opposed to like horses and everything?
Uh-huh. You imagine the people who use hair club for men today, man, when they die. They're gonna have like hair growing in their caskets and stuff. It's so crazy.
Well, with hair plugs? With hair plugs, the hair grow. Does hair grow back like through a plug? And so they put plugs of hair inside the head, and then hair grows from those plugs. Or is it going to have to stay the same size? Like that hair never grows a different size. Once you get it plugged, that's the size hair you have, and you get the rest of your hair cut, but not the plug. Or do hair plugs grow too?
Yeah, but you you hear the implications I'm saying about the freaking hair club for men where it grows from their skull naturally?
I thought that it was something different. I thought hair club for men. Oh, Rogaine, like Rogaine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now think about
They have
this.
that for women too.
Think about this. Archaeologists are going to freaking dig these guys up like 2,000 years from now, and all they're going to find is a big freaking hairball. You know what
No,
I'm saying? It's like, it's like
consuming
the
stuff.
only thing that's going to survive is their hair.
That'll be wild. I wonder if that's true. I wish we could. Well, you see, you never be able to know. So, okay, how come archaeologists are allowed to dig up stuff like this and find stuff like this, or even just other places? But like, if they were to go to a cemetery, they're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to dig up dead people. Like, it's illegal. We know that part. So, how come there's some permissions granted to be able to dig up dead people?
There's some places that don't do it. Like, there's Indian tribes out in the west that still refuse to allow archaeologists to go in and excavate because they say it disrespects their ancestors.
Yeah. That's what I thought that was the overall consensus. Oh, look how pretty.
Yeah.
The one in the middle. Let me take a picture. This is so pretty, especially that one in the middle. I want to have all of them, but then I'll just zoom them in so I can have them separate.
Atlas Obscura user.
But they both said that. All of those, see, Atlas Obscure, all of that says that. Wonder what these says. Oh, these are the shares, the brothers, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
most likely, yeah.
That's how this says, the shares. I went to school with a guy named Brian Shares. I wonder if he was his reincarnate.
Death Mask. Theobald Wolf Tone.
But why? Why is it a death mask? What like what is
Death
this?
masks were popular. They used them a lot, and they used them for like thousands of years. I don't think they stopped using them until maybe like 200 years ago.
For
Maybe
what though? What do you do with it?
you put people's you put these masks on people's faces when you bury them.
Come on.
It was common. If you had the money to do it, that was like you were a cream of the crop, man. You had the money, and it showed power because you were being buried with that face mask on.
Hmm.
So
I just think it's funny that even in death, they attempt to show power Like how
Mm-hmm.
many? Like, I mean, like how many people are really gonna go down there to see you? Like type thing. I don't know. It's just interesting. Interesting mindset.
Yep. See that? Got two skulls.
What is that? Oh, that's the same. That's just a different version of what we saw with the three bodies, or is it a different one
Mm-hmm.
too?
And then the two skulls are sitting
I,
over here on the side.
mm-hmm.
See right there?
Oh, yeah, that is the same one. That's not the same picture. That one was a different one.
Yeah, it's
Go.
from a different angle. See right here?
Yeah, but this one's like a curve. The other one's on a straight. And look at that ledge at the top, and then you know what I mean. There's no ledge over here. There's no anything under. There's a
Yeah, that's actually nice wood too on the casket. Or they're on a casket.
casket.
And this
So
one,
how come that casket's closed and these ones are open? Yeah, this is
yeah,
on the bottom. It looks like that's on a wood ledge or something like that.
yeah.
And they said they don't know. Like I just imagine if it was methane gas, would it not burn? Like, isn't it a possibility to catch on fire? When someone goes down there and smokes a cigarette, would the whole thing not blow up? I just don't imagine it being on methane gas.
Now see right here. This is another picture of the first two. So you're right. They weren't the same ones. This is
Yes.
better lighting.
And I wonder what makes skulls look different. Like, what would make a darker skull versus a lighter skull? And then look, are there any difference in the bone structure? There is, because look at his nose, look at his nose, look at their eyes, look at their eyes. So you would think skulls would have basically common structure and would be more similar than different. Head shape's completely different. His head is more of a helmet shape. His more of a wider shape. And then where the ears would go, this one on the right hardly has any. This one on the left, you can see where the ear indentations are, and like it's just different. Like they're different. You would think a
Hmm.
skull would be like way more similar, and not very many differences.
Now
It's interesting to see as well.
this one could have more wear and tear on it too. Like you can see over here, this has a certain amount of darkness, but I,
Yeah,
like it,
it's
it look,
still white.
it's
hmm
still got that whitish
Like
thing to it.
fresh, yeah, fresher, yeah. So maybe that's a. Oh, but see, then if that's the case, then are we still adding bodies? Why would one be different than the other if this is not all in a certain amount of time for I
Yeah.
mean, we're no longer putting the bodies here, so why would it not be
The,
similar decay?
now you got to realize too when it was actually going on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were probably adding bodies in. You know, and if you remember, well, like the article itself starts out that it was for Vikings, but then it started going down into other subjects, and they never mentioned the Vikings again. You know, so
I wonder what they did with the bones. See here, there's only the skulls. So what do you think they did with the bones? Do you think these are the bones? They look like coal. There's
well,
no bones. The At least with the catacombs, you seen the bones behind it, and it was all
some
there too.
some of them's got these right here, but
You got their whole body. Wow, that looks so human still. Look, you can see their whole face
hmm
structure. Look, that doesn't even look like a skull. See, that makes me think that one's fake. It doesn't look like a skull.
no, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. We hit them all. Now you wanna read this one?
Okay, you just have to put it up.
Let me put it on the Jitsi chat. There it is. And I'll switch it on the
That's the
screen
same
to
one you just. That's the same one you just did. Oh no, that's a different one.
this is
We're
the
reading about
wiki.
the same church though.
Yeah, it's the same church. It's just a wiki.
But you don't want to read about any of the other ones?
Well, yeah, we're gonna read them.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, we are. There's one, two, three, four, five of them. We can get through them at a later date. We don't have to freaking go through all of these. Okay.
But
So
wasn't the
if
one
you
we just looking at Saint Micah's too?
yeah,
Saint
but
Micah.
that was a article.
Oh, okay, okay. I see what you're saying. So we're going to see the exact facts.
We're gonna
Okay.
we're gonna go get the facts from Wikipedia.
It looks
Get
like
the,
it says Macon. Wait, is the facts? Yeah, right. Okay, Macon because it's Maiken. So
yeah.
Saint Macon is the Church of Ireland. church located in Church Street, Dublin, Ireland. The first Christian chapel on this site dated from 1095 and operated as a Catholic church until the Reformation. The current church dates from 1686 and has served Church of Ireland parishioners in Dublin for more than 300 years. The church is known for its vaults, which contain a number of mummified remains. Built on the site of an early Norse chapel from 1095, the current structure dates largely from a reconstruction undertaken under William Robinson in 1686, but is still the only parish church on the north side of the Liffey surviving from a Viking foundation. Liffey, I think it's Liffey.
Liffey.
Yeah, Liffey. So it's like Liffey, but could it be Lifey? But it wouldn't be because of the two F's, so it would be the I. So anyway, while the exterior of the church may be modest, the interior boasts some fine woodwork and an organ dated 1724, on which Handel is said to have composed. Wow, have composed his Messiah. I like classical music. The vaults of Saint Machen's uniquely contain many mummified remains. The wall and the vaults contain limestone, which has kept the air dry, creating ideal conditions for preservation. Among the preserved remains are the 400-year-old body of a nun, a 6.5 foot man popularly believed to have been a crusader, a body with its feet and right hand severed, and the Sherrod brothers, Henry and John, who took part in the 1798 rebellion. The various holders of the title Earl of Leitrim were also interred here. Damage. A number of crypts in St. Macon's vaults were damaged by vandals in 1996, and again in early 2019. Following the 2019 incident,
Arch,
Archdeacon David
arch, archdeacon.
Archdeacon. Okay. Archdeacon David Pierrepoint told the media that several mummified remains were desecrated by vandals, including the remains of a 400-year-old nun and the decapitation of the 800-year-old crusader. Access. The church vaults are open to tours on Saturdays and seasonally on some weekdays, receiving approximately 27,000 visitors in 2018. Following the vandalism event in early 2019, these tours were temporarily canceled, recommencing by early July 2019.
Yeah.
Oregon, keep going or no?
I'll go ahead. Yeah.
The
Uh,
Oregon, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, you might as well.
Okay. The Oregon built yeah. The Oregon built or is it Kirrucka? No, it's circa 1940 by Evans and Barr of Belfast, is housed within the 18th century Oregon case constructed by John Baptiste Cuvier between 1723 to 1725. The three manual pneumatic console employs modern compass and playing dimensions, yet has been squeezed into the space originally occupied by much narrower keyboards. The swell division features a slider soundboard with separate pneumatic underaction. The great and choir divisions are served by sliderless dental chests. Stop action is pneumatic throughout. In front of the gallery is the organ trophy, a carved wooden piece which depicts 17 musical instruments and was installed in 1724. It is widely considered the George Frederick Handel practiced in advance of the first performance of Messiah on this organ. Then it shows the map,
Uh,
clergy, gallery reference. So yeah.
the John Baptiste. He was named after a famous person, or he's the one I was thinking of. John Baptiste.
Jean Baptiste Caville Q Valley. That
That
would
that
Caville.
really sticks out, and they didn't do a citation for him either.
Well, it has a number 12. Let me see what 12 says. Just go back.
St. Michael's Church, Oregon. You
Yeah, nothing.
you think they'd do a citation on him too?
Well, I'm searching them now. Look up. Let's see what it says. Marquise of Torcy. Let's see. John Baptiste, and then see that's somebody different because it says John Baptiste Colbert, Marquise of Torcy. Then I
Marquise
see
was the one I'm thinking of.
1665 to 1746.
Yeah.
And generally, okay, hold on. So is that the same? See,
No.
this one it says was constructed by 1723 to 1723. It's possible. And so, and generally called Colbert de Torcy, was a French diplomat who negotiated some of the most, he was French though, of the
Yeah.
most important treaties towards the end of Louis this number of reign.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I know about him.
It's different. He's
Yeah.
different than.
That's who I was thinking of. But this guy, his name was John Baptiste. That stuck out to me.
Yeah,
Uh,
but see, it's spelled different. His
yeah.
is Jean, not John's. His is John, and the other one is John. So that's John and Jean, but Jean is Jean, but it's not the same.
But did you catch, like, if we didn't read the Wikipedia, we wouldn't have known what the vandalism was?
Yeah, why it closed it? We would have just saw that it closed and reopened. So the reason why was
Yeah.
because people were tearing it up.
They even specifically said in here which ones it was. It was the guy that we were talking about that was freaking the
So that was the middle one.
he
Where
was
did
the
he
guy that
cut
had to
off?
have his legs freaking bent upwards, and he
Yeah.
was they thought of him as the freaking the oh
Either he
god,
was a thief or a crusader. Yeah, so
the
they were saying
crusader.
in here that
The
he's a
crusader and the
crusader.
nun. Now the thief didn't didn't get vandalized. It was the nun and the crusader.
But see, this is what I'm saying. It sounds like I think I had it mistaken because it said on there that either the guy was either a crusader or he was a thief. It started with him thought to be a thief, and that's why his hand was severed. But then it went on to say that it was also possible he was a crusader, and this one correlates with him being a crusader. So it's the same person, the thief and the crusader, but it's the one that's in the middle, and that's why his hand is missing because they said it could have been a crusader who lost his limbs, but they thought that it possibly could have been a thief and that he was yeah, he had his hands cut off.
So we got that one done. We've got the catacombs done. Now we can go into Sedlick Ossuary if you want to. Um, we've been on for an hour and 22 minutes. It's up to you.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We can keep going. I mean, it's cool. I did the vast majority of what I'm gonna do, so it really doesn't matter. You want to read one more and then save the rest and continue next week,
Yeah,
or
we
is it
can. We can do
okay?
that. We can do that.
Let me
But
see. Did you send a link?
not yet. Here it is
Oh, okay,
now.
okay. I'm making sure I didn't miss it.
Now, do you want to do it or you want me to?
Would you rather?
I
I'll
can
do
do it.
it.
I
I
mean,
know. I
if
know
you
you
want to
rather.
read, you can do it. I mean, heck
I
yeah.
know you rather.
I love it when people read, man. This one's short though.
You're not shorting me tomorrow. I don't care who tells Thomas to do an interview. They're gonna read. You're gonna read my story tomorrow. Do that. Sure.
You got your finger over the mic.
I'm doing it now. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was reading like I can like. Yeah, you should see
Oh,
how close
oh,
I have the phone.
okay.
The Sedlick Ossuary is a Roman Catholic chapel located beneath the Cemetery Church of All Saints, part of the former Sedlick Abbey in Sedlec, a suburb of Kutna Hora in the Czech Republic. The ossuary is estimated to contain the skeletons of between 40,000 and 70,000 people, whose bones have, in many cases, been artistically arranged to form decorations and furnishing for the chapel. The ossuary is among the most visited tourist attractions of the Czech Republic, attracting over 200,000 visitors annually. Four bell shaped mounds occupy the corners of the chapel. A chandelier of bones, which contains at least one of every bone in the human body, hangs from the center of the nave with garlands of skulls draping the vault. Other works include piers and monstrance flanking the altar. Monstrances flanking the altar, a coat of arms of the House of Schwarzenberg, and the signature of Francisque Rent, also executed in bones on the wall near the entrance. Along with Sedlick Abbey and the rest of the Kutna Hora city century, the ossuary was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1995 because of its unique Baroque architecture. In 1278, Henry, the abbot of the Cistercian, wait, sorry, Cistercian, yeah,
Yeah.
the abbot of the Cistercian monastery in Sedlick, was sent to the Holy Land by King Ottokar II of Bohemia. He returned with a small amount of earth he had removed from Golgotha and sprinkled it over the abbey cemetery. The word of this pious act soon spread, and the cemetery in Sedlick became a desirable burial site throughout Central Europe. In the mid 14th century, during the Black Death and after the Hussite Wars in the early 15th century, many thousands were buried in the Abbey Cemetery, so it had to be greatly enlarged. Around 1400, a Gothic church was built in the center of the cemetery with a vaulted upper level and a lower chapel to be used as an ossuary for the mass graves unearthed during construction, or simply slated for demolition to make room for new burials. After 1511, the task of exhuming skeletons and stacking their bones in the chapel was given to a half blind monk of the order, according the legend. Between 1703 and 1710, a new entrance was constructed to support the front wall, which was leaning outward, and the upper chapel was rebuilt. This work in the Czech Baroque style was designed by Jan Santini Acchia, or Acchia, but I think it's Acchia. In 1870, František Rent, a woodcarver, was employed by the Schwarzenberg family to put the bone heaps into order, yielding a macabre result. Macabre result. Macabre. I'm just gonna do this real quick so I can see. Make cab, yeah, okay. So in the U.S. it's a make cab. That's what I thought. I wasn't supposed to pronounce that, but in the UK it's macabre. Macabre result. The signature of Rent, also executed in bone, appears on the wall near the entrance to the chapel. In 1970, the 100th anniversary of Rent's contributions, Czech filmmaker Jan Smaknier was commissioned to document the ossuary. The result was a 10-minute long frantic cut film of skeletal images overdubbed with an actual tour guide's neutral voice narration. This version was initially banned by the Czech communist authorities for alleged subversion, and the soundtrack was replaced by a brief spoken introduction and a jazz arrangement by Zdeněk Lissier.
Your hands.
My finger. Because it makes it easier to hold it. Comment dessiner le portrait d'un initio. How to draw a portrait of a bird. Initiate. But
That's pretty
since
cool.
the, yeah, that the fact that but the fact that they had to redo it is kind of weird because it's like, okay, you can have, it's kind of like editing, how we were talking about copyright on YouTube. It's like you
Yeah.
can have, you know what I mean, you can't have his voice but
Hmm.
you can have this. Since the Velvet Revolution, the original tour guide soundtrack has been made available, and the documentary Long Way Round, Ewan McGregor and Charlie Borman stopped to see this church. Dan Cruikshank also views the church in his Adventure in Architecture. The ossuary is a major plot device in the John Connolly novel The Black Angel. The ossuary is used as a location from the haha, that's so cool. The ossuary is used for as a location for the Dungeons and Dragons movie and the movie Blood and Chocolate. The ossuary was featured in Ripley's Believe It or Not and is described by Kara Seymour in the final scene of the film adaptation, excuse me. The Assyri influenced Dr. Satan's, Lord have mercy. The Assyri influenced Dr. Satan's lair in the Rob Zombie film House of a Thousand Corpses. The Assyri appeared on two versions of The Amazing Race Australia 1 and Ha Mirat La Million 2. A photographer of the chapel's interior was also used as the cover art for the 1998 album Nightwork by Swedish progressive black metal band Diabolic Masquerade. Then it shows the pictures. Oh wow. Look at this kid with the horn and the
Yeah,
skull on his lap.
that's crazy.
Wow, the chandelier's pretty though.
Yeah, I know. I did a slideshow on there so that everybody on there could look at it.
Wow,
Now,
it's so pretty. It's gross but pretty. I mean, those are really human bones, but
we've got these other ones that are pretty short, so we can go through them and get them done. I mean, I looked at them afterwards, and they're not really all that long. So,
did you send them?
no, I
No,
mean
send them.
the wiki pages.
Okay.
So that means we can actually hit them. You know what I mean? Because the Skull Chapel is the coolest out of all of them. You know what I mean? Now, do you want me to read, or do you want to? I can read now. Do you want me
Yeah,
to?
I mean, if you want to
It's
go
up
ahead
to
and
you.
read some, I'll take a break and I'll do the next one. Yeah, you can do
Okay.
the next one.
Okay.
Do the next one. I'll do the one after. But can you send me the link, please, so I can follow along still?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I just wanted to ask you before I did it. I mean, because we could have taken a
I like
break or waited, but
I like reading. It helps me. It's good for my brain, so I don't mind reading at all.
you want to read? I
No,
mean,
you can do this one. I'll take a break now, but I'm just saying, so you know you don't ever have to worry about it. I
oh,
don't
that's
mind
fine.
reading.
Yeah, I don't want you overdoing it because I know freaking that stuff gets really bad with words and stuff. Here. Oh, I lost her. Let me see what's going on here. Click on the link real quick. Oh, yeah. I'd almost bet it's me who did it. Watch this. Yeah, it was me.
Did it kick you out again?
Yep, it always does. This makes the second time.
It says you joined, but maybe you're muted. I don't hear anything.
Yep, it was me. They kicked me out for it.
I thought, and I
Every
thought it
single
was
time.
mine because I just got something telling me that I gotta.
Every single time, man.
It's just like
Every
that.
single time. Okay, now let me. Are you? They just.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm on the
Okay.
page.
I was wondering if they kicked you out. I heard a weird noise. I was like,
Yeah, it sounded. Yeah, we said we're gonna keep going, and Jitsi was like, "No, you're not."
"Yeah,
It's
we're
like, what
done
is
with
it?
your shit."
Right. We
On here,
don't
just
wanna.
talking a bunch of crazy crap.
We just built one of these in America, and now you're revealing these old ones. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? This is where all the COVID victims go. No, I'm just joking. Kinda. That was horrible. Anyway, I'm ready.
Oh, I can't believe she said that out
I know. At least it's on your channel.
loud.
They're gonna tell you have to get rid of that girl. Girl's ruining you. Anyway, go ahead.
I learned tricks. You know why I don't get kicked off of YouTube or lose anything because of it? It's because
Why?
It's because I don't put the shit in the freaking headline of the freaking video. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like only people that know you are really gonna watch it because like if they just based off of what you've been looking for, yeah. If we wrote what we talk about on there, that'd be different. You'll just write like strangeness episodes, such and such. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I,
Right. No monitoring.
I never heard anything
smart.
from about our conspiracy one last week. No restrictions, no nothing. You know what I mean? And the reason why is because I didn't freaking put anything descriptive in the freaking introduction. And I'll have people just lecturing me all the time that I need to do that. I'm like, are you serious? You really want people to freaking lose your or censor your shit?
Right, which
Yeah,
makes no sense to me because what's the point of even doing it to get censored? Like, no, save
yeah,
real raw and cut. You could be some haters, Josh. Sometimes I really feel like they just be hating on stuff that they should be thankful for people like us willing to bring to their knowledge, their forefront stuff that they probably would be unaware of in
yeah.
regards.
hmm So
Mm,
now
well,
let's get on to the skull chapter or chapel. The skull chapel is in Polish, or Saint Bartholomew's Church. Is in a, it's an ossuary chapel located in
Follow.
Czermna district of Kadawa Zaraj, Poland. Built in Baroque style in the last quarter of the 18th century. The temple serves as a mass grave with thousands of skulls and skeletal remains adorning its interior walls, floor, ceiling, and foundations. The Skull Chapel is the only such monument in Poland and one of 6 in Europe. Now, history. The chapel was built in 1776 by Bohemian local parish priest Vaclav Tomasek. It is the mass grave of people who died during the 30-Year War between 1618 and 1648. The 30 Years War was actually the oldest war in history, too, by the way.
I believe it. 30 years, like, is
Yeah.
people's lifespan in some cases. I never heard of a war longer.
3 Silesian Wars, 1740 to 1763. And
That's crazy because that's running a close second.
uh-huh. And people who died because of cholera epidemics. Yeah, cholera.
That's wild. Yeah, that's what Tesla had. That's crazy.
Cholera epidemics.
I love this stuff.
Plagues, syphilis, and hunger.
Not that stuff, but I was just saying, like, the correlation. Okay.
Together with sacristan J. Smith and gravedigger J. Langer, Father Tomasek, who was inspired by Capuchin Cemetery while on pilgrimage to Rome, which Capuchin Cemetery is probably one of them that you'd want to look at later on. Santa Maria del Concezione dei Cappuccini is a Roman Catholic church located via Vittorio Veneto.
Veneto. 27 the north of the. Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
Go ahead. Just north
You
of
said that you were going. You said that I wanted to look at it. So when you
Oh,
said that,
okay.
I just clicked it. But I just clicked it. I was like, okay, so that's something to look at later, and I just clicked it.
just north of the Piazza Barberina in Rome, Italy. It is the first Roman church dedicated to the Immaculate Conception. All right. Now, while on a pilgrimage to Rome, that's what inspired him. Collected the casualty bones. Okay, he collected the casualty bones, cleaned and put them in the chapel within 18 years. Now, this is where I come to that clean part, what I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, so they would literally freaking clean the bones and shit. And they thought that like bad things would happen if they didn't do it. Now, cleaned and put them in the chapel within 18 years, from 1776 to 1794. So 6 years after, or 6 years from the time we had our Declaration of Independence and won the Revolutionary War until 6 years or 18 years later, he was doing this. Now, in the chapel within 18 years, walls of this small Baroque church are filled with 3,000 skulls, and there are also bones of another 21,000 people interred in the basement. The skulls of people who built the chapel, including Tamasek, were placed in the center of the building and on the altar in 1804. Inside are a crucifix and two carvings of angels with Latin inscriptions that read, "Arise from the dead and come to judgment." A recording inside the church available in three languages, Polish, Czech, and German, explain the history of the chapel. After World War II ended in 1945, a group of volunteers dedicated themselves to restoring the chapel to its former glory. Their efforts paid off, and the skull chapel was soon successfully restored.
Their pictures are so pretty. Look at this one in the middle, the second one.
Oh
Like this
yeah.
looks like this doesn't even look real. This looks like it really was just decorated. But these are wow, look at that. Oh see that looks like the skull and bone symbol. The with the skull at the top and how the bones cross underneath. That's probably
Uh-huh.
definitely symbolic of it. The only thing that looks kind of crazy is how they have those ones thrown underneath. Those are probably the evil people, or what they considered evil. People without money. And throw those on the bottom. We'll throw those ones on the bottom. We'll put the rich ones over there like this. That's crazy.
It's
Those
the
poor,
leftovers.
poor mangy mutts. Yeah, this
The
is nice though.
leftovers.
Over the left behinds. This is wild because this actually looks really nice. Oh wow, this is really really nice. And except for like they have Jesus back there. Why isn't he on the skull? Why isn't he? Doesn't he have bones? Oh, because he got resurrected. That's right. I forgot. I almost forgot.
Hmm.
That's right. What does it say? No what? No video recording? Why not? Who? How did we get these pictures? Somebody did something illegal. It was crazy.
I I would guess they don't want people coming in there with that videos,
And
video
probably ruins
recorders.
the sacrosity.
You know.
hmm And then look at this. What is this picture of the map here? Where is this? North and northwest.
Yeah.
Nordwest.
Let me back out of this real quick because I noticed it didn't show the map.
Facade.
Yeah, right here. Now, that map
Oh, it's
doesn't
saying
show.
no touching. It's not no cameras.
Oh, no touching.
Yeah, when I get closer, it shows no. And I guess it's touching. It's looking like they're getting ready to pick up a cigarette or they're about to touch something. Looks like they're doing a little bit of everything there. Is this a skull? No, this is not a casket that these skulls are on. It's something that's like an iron slate.
Yeah, it's an altar.
hmm They look so nice. Like I don't know. I just want to talk to them. I would like to go there. Look at his on top of his head. Like I talk. I bet it's so loud in there. It'd probably be nice to be in there. I mean, I can imagine for the most part, most of them hanging out, traveling when necessary. But they go, and if they reincarnate, then it's different. But you could go here and talk to these people. I wish I could go there and talk to these people. I'd like to know what, like, just stuff that they know, especially the
See,
people.
see
Look at this one
now.
at the top.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm turning you. You're now all of a sudden you're wanting
I've
to
been
go
talking to
see
dead.
it.
I've been talking to dead people long before you
Do
came
you
into my
do
life.
you, do
Trust
you
me.
remember what you first said when I said that? I was like, oh my god.
No, I'm not talking to dead people. Please, I talk to
No, I
dead people
mean a
every day.
church made out of
Oh,
human
a church
bones.
made out of bones is wild. Now the
Yeah.
whole concept is wild. But see that one right there, for whatever I'm drawn to it. The other one was okay, but the chandelier was the only thing that caught me. Whatever this one is, Skull Chapel, probably because of the skull and bones, which would make sense now because of what happened. But whatever, okay, I'm learning. So anyway, that church though, for whatever reason, I want to go there and talk to those people that are on that altar. Just those. There's three of them that I have to speak with,
Let
even
me
though there's like eight total, seven.
let me give you a little observation of my own too, okay?
hmm
And I've done a little research on these people. It's the Bohemians, okay? The Bohemians there's a reason why they made the Bohemian Rhapsody, and they freaking
I,
just
I can play that on the flute, by the way. Well, I don't know if I can still, but I used to. But go ahead.
and there's a reason why uh, the Bohemians have the reputation they have, and it's because they earned their reputation. Okay, now these are like freaking Middle Ages, the Middle Age hippies. You know what I'm saying? In the Middle Ages.
Mm-hmm.
These people had imagination like you wouldn't believe. I mean, and their culture was just, I mean, for that time period, they were outlandish. You know what I mean? With some of the stuff they've done, and like this wouldn't be anything unusual for Bohemians and their art, their literature. Most of the old conspiracies, man, that people talk about today are because of the Bohemians. You know what I mean? Like, especially when it comes with alchemy and the freaking sorcerer's stone and all that stuff, and it's just like this is where most of that stuff comes from.
And it says, but what is a bohemian person? A person who is interested in artistic and unusual things, for example, art, music, or literature, and lives in an informal way that ignores the usually accepted way. So wait, am I bohemian then?
No,
You have
Czechs
to be from Czech.
are Czech people. And
Yeah.
they're from West Slavic ethnic group, they're a West Slavic ethnic group, and a nation native to the Czech Republic in Central Europe, who share a common ancestry, culture, history, and the Czech language. Um, Bohemians are actually, they have a tie with the Gypsies too, because like during the Middle Ages, Bohemia freaking didn't allow their people who were gypsies to be harmed. So a lot of the gypsies migrated to Bohemia because of that.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Have you ever heard the saying that says, I'm going to sell you to the gypsies?
Oh God, don't get me started on the gypsies.
Please, though, can you tell me why, what is that? Is that history or is that conspiracy or what? Because we have to go there. Because I want to know why, what does that mean?
There's a lot of gypsy conspiracy going around that claims that that gypsies used to buy freaking children from people who freaking had children who didn't behave properly and stuff. So
My mom used to tell me she was going to sell me to the gypsies.
Yeah, that's where that comes from. Because
And then she sold.
people believed at one time that parents would sell their children to the gypsies, and they also believed the gypsies would steal children from their parents if they strayed away from them. Just crazy stuff.
No, but it might be true. Just like, okay.
I don't know. You could. I just.
I'm gonna look it up. I'll look it up. You don't have to say anymore. But I knew if anyone knew anything about that, you would. Especially once you mentioned gypsy. As soon as you said the word, my brain was like, ask him about selling kids to the gypsies. And then as soon as you said gypsies, it's like, oh, he knows of gypsies. Wait. And then it was.
I actually did freaking write about the gypsies too. I got it on.
Is it online?
It's on the Praetorian for my YouTube channel.
I think I followed all your channels, so I'll probably be able to. Oh, I'll probably be able to do it. I was listening to one of your things. It's the Atatu. You know what I'm talking about? But it's not your voice. It's like someone else is reading it. Are you playing something? Is that you? And you have it? Oh, it is someone else. I just didn't know if you did a voice changer or something. The Atatu. I was listening to that yesterday or the day before yesterday.
The minute we were just talking about it, weren't we?
The Mennonites and but that was something that was Amish. No, we weren't talking about them. The Mennonites I was talking about with the kids. It wasn't that, but
I'm thinking of the freaking Minamata.
Oh
than a
no.
mono.
What it is Atuta. You know what I'm saying, right? I know you know because you
No,
posted. It's like Atuta. Oh
I have
gosh,
no idea what you're talking about.
I'm about to tell you because it'll be in my history, and because I know it starts with the A. It does not start with It doesn't start with the M. So just give me a second because I'm gonna look in my history. View all blah 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 blah. Da 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 da. No, classical music, classical music. No, 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 no.
Now,
Then that's that song.
you you want to read San Bernardino El Osa?
Mm, Yeah, just send it to me, and I'm gonna read it. I want to see what it is. Live for Blender, of course. Because I was listening to it and then I
Your
wasn't
thing.
answering text messages. I was listening to your thing and I wasn't answering my text messages, and then something weird happened to what I was listening to, and it made it sound like annoying to hear where I was really into it, and then all of a sudden I couldn't listen to it. It was like making my stomach hurt, almost like it had been intercepted, and there was some type of energy being fed towards me to turn me away from listening to it just to get me to respond to stuff. And now it's not even in here that I listened to it or I watched it, and that's
The
probably
Dybbuk?
more frustrating.
Is it the Dybbuk?
No, it starts with an A. Like I see this thing where we looking at the monkey scratch strangeness episode 5 conspiracy. Then it's classical, classical, classical. Then it's the body cam. Oh,
Go look at the
blender.
playlist.
But I don't even like which one it was on because it was another voice. Like it came from your stuff. Hold on, let me see if it's on here. Then, I know. I'll look at my subscribers who I subscribe to because it came from your stuff. That's the only reason I looked at it. And then it when I looked at it, it was like it was history and stuff like that. Like, oh, was I in the wrong one? No, I was in the right one. It was like history, the history of. Hold on, let me just go to where I'm subscribed to. Blah 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 blah. Go to your channel, yeah. And then I want to see playlist community. Okay, hold on, no 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 no. Channels about subscribers, 3 videos, blah 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 blah. See, and it doesn't even show me the stuff that I subscribe to. Like, should my subscriptions be right here? Okay, here it is. So maybe it was this strange. No, isn't this? It's gaming. Maybe it's gaming, but it's strange. It's not this. Because it was from some years ago. It was from something. Roger, here's this one. It might have been this one. And no, it's not this one either.
What's it
It
say?
wasn't. This one, because this one you just posted stuff. This is a house party and live
Oh
stream.
yeah,
Yeah, the Roger Hinch one.
that's my other account.
You,
Yeah.
I have like I follow all your stuff. Like no, and now all of
Now,
this acts like
mine would if you're wanting this kind of stuff, it would be on with
I found it. I found it. I found it.
Strange
M22, Book of Am Tuat, the
M2Y.
12 albums. Yeah,
Yeah,
Amtwat. Yeah,
M2Y. Yes,
yeah, that's what I was listening to.
that's a good one. Yeah.
I was really frustrated because I know that I was listening to it. It should be in my history, and it's still not in my history.
You
But
better
it showed.
you better be careful with that because if you pronounce the words right, bad things can happen to you.
Wait, what? Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad I don't know how to pronounce it, man. What do you mean?
Those are incantations, and when they're read correctly, they're freaking opening gateways into the freaking world of the dead.
Oh well, I'm probably already there. Those people don't scare me. Those are my
As
people.
you die and you go into the freaking underworld, that you go through gates, and when you say freaking a certain incantation, the guards of these gates will open them up so you can pass through to the next part of the Amtuat.
So like Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Now,
Type-
Beetlejuice calls Beetlejuice out into the real world. No,
Oh, this one sends you into their world. I got you.
no, this one is after you're dead. You have to say these incantations, and like first incantation makes it to where your body can move. Okay. And then
After you've been dead.
after you've been dead, if you don't do the incantation after you die, you'll be frozen and you'll never be able to move. You'll be a frozen dead person.
Can other people do the incantations for you? So let's say I die in front of someone. Are they able to do incantations in order for me to be able to move and then perhaps later on
They
control my
can
movement?
what they do is they bring offerings to where you died at, and those offerings are food for you. But you are personally responsible for memorizing all the incantations that you have to do in order to pass through the Amtuat.
Can you transfer souls? Like, is it a possibility for someone to see someone about to die, or even putting someone in a position to possibly pass on, and then be able to transfer their soul to that person, and then in exchange, because they were still alive, that person will remain alive and they will remain alive as well because the soul went into their body, which means that's a reincarnate, and then the
Now,
person that was staying. No.
you got to remember we're talking Egyptian though.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like, yeah, I know. But
We're we're talking Egyptian. And
because it
what they
was just,
believe.
I died, and then like I did not die when I died, and like it's just complicated. But okay, let's read the other one. You said, well, that's a different story.
It's your turn.
I gotta have it. You didn't send it to
I
me.
know. I just you
Patience, I know. I'm working
you
on it.
you are about to receive it. Here we go. And I will do screen share real quick and get it. That's San Bernardino, I believe, right?
Yes,
Okay.
San Bernardino Al Asa.
Okay.
Saint Bernardino, excuse me, Al Osa is a church in Milan, northern Italy, best known for its ossuary, a small side chapel decorated with numerous human skulls and bones. In 1210, when an adjacent cemetery ran out of space, a room was built to hold bones. A church was attached in 1269, renovated in 1679. It was destroyed by a fire in 1712. A new, bigger church was then attached to the older one and dedicated to Saint Bernardino of Siena. The church's origin date starts, excuse me, the church's origin dates to 1145 when a hospital and a cemetery were built in front of the Basilica, Basilica of Santo Stefano Maggiore. In 1210, a chamber was built to house bones from the cemetery, next to which a church was built in 1269. It was restored for the first time in 1679 by Giovanni Andrea Biffi, who modified the facade and decorated the walls of the ossuary with human skulls and tibia. What is it? What is tibia? Tibia.
I have no clue.
Look it up. See. I long bone of the lower leg. Oh, okay, okay. Tibia, long bone of
Oh,
the
the
lower leg.
tibia. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, the tibia. Sorry.
No, it's all good. They spelled it differently. The church was destroyed in 1712. It was replaced by a new edifice designed by Carlo Giuseppe Merlo, featuring a central plan and larger size, reflecting the increasing popularity of of the Osiri. The new church, connected to the former one by an ambulatory, was dedicated to Saint Bernardino of Siena,
That's
and
something
then
else.
the facade was completed in 1776. It's so funny that everything ended when we signed this declaration of quote unquote independence. Everything happened in 1776 with all of these different churches. 1776 is a focal point, and I just, every time I hear it, the first thing I think about is them signing the Declaration of Independence. That's extremely interesting.
It is interesting, and this makes the second time.
And
Eh,
for third, I think it's the third. The first one too. The Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of these that are just 1776 is just like the year. It's wild.
a lot of them could have like decided to move off to the United States to get away from oppression and stuff.
or to do it in discretion. The interior has an octagonal plan, which would explain why there's underground passages that lead to these places. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. The interior has an octagonal plan with Baroque style decorations. The several chapels have paintings from the 16th to 18th century through 18th centuries. The Ossory's vaults was frescoed in 1695 by Sebastiano Ricci with a trumpet to triumph of souls and flying angels, while in the pendentives are portrayed the Holy Virgin, Saint Ambrose, Saint Sebastian, and Saint Bernardino of Siena. Niches and doors are decorated with bones and Rococo style. In 1738, King John V of Portugal, which is 20, right? King
Yeah.
John of Portugal was so struck, of 20 of Portugal, was so struck by the chapel that had a very similar one built at Ever near Lisbon.
Near Lisbon.
Lisbon, yeah, Lisbon.
I've,
Oh,
I've
this one's
heard of.
pretty at the top.
That's a lot of it.
Oh,
Like
Sistine Chapel.
a lot of this stuff that they're showing is like really beautiful, even though they're made out of freaking skulls. I mean, that's the most amazing part about it is these are beautiful chapels.
And that's creative in itself, even though it seems a little different and strange to have
A little different.
bones. Yeah, just a little different
Just
to
a little different.
decorate your sanctuary with the
You want me
bones.
to
But I guess
wash your bones and freaking throw them in a pile and shit?
no.
Just
If you're gonna do me, you make sure you put them in a chandelier. My bones aren't going in a pile. You put me up on the chandelier for everyone to see. Oh, that's karma.
yeah.
Make sure
She's
everyone
up there
knows.
somewhere. I've
It'd
got
be the
her.
biggest lamp you've had for that. The skull,
Make your
yeah.
skull the center stone.
Yes,
Centerpiece.
definitely. Put diamonds in my eyes so they shine like
yeah.
ting. Yeah.
uh, all right. So.
You wanted this. I'll be coming back and haunting you every single day. Every time you eat dinner, you're like, you asked for this.
Now this next one, it has a poem in it. I can read it. It's short, but if you
Okay.
want to read it, you can do it.
Oh, go ahead.
You want me to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now this poem has got weird words and stuff, but I think that the interpretation is on the right side, so I can.
Hold on. Are you screen sharing it? Let me see.
I'm
Yeah.
getting ready to do it now. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Oh, my
going,
Bitsy still had to chat up.
I'll put the chat, or I'll put the link in the chat too if you want it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. This one is uh,
Oh, wow.
Capella de Osos,
Yeah.
and
Palo dos Osos.
it's
Chapel of Bones.
Chapel Bones. Chapel of
Chapel of
Bones.
Bones. No.
Chapel
Oh,
Bones.
hey. I didn't mean to say it out loud. I gotta keep my thoughts to myself. Just go.
Capella dos Osos.
Capella dos Osos. No.
English Chapel of Bones is one of the best known monuments in Evora, Portugal. It is a small interior chapel located next to the entrance of the Church of Saint Francis. The chapel gets its name because the interior walls are covered and decorated with human skulls and bones.
Look at this pretty picture at the top.
Mhm.
Go ahead. I apologize. This picture is beautiful.
The Capella dos Jesus was built by Franciscan friars. It is a church of bones, and an estimated 5,000 corpses were exhumed to decorate the walls of the chapel. The bones, which came from ordinary people who were buried in Avoros Evorus's medieval cemeteries were arranged by the Franciscans in a variety of patterns. The chapel is formed by three spans, 18.7 meters or 61.4 foot long and 11 meters 36 foot wide. Light enters through three small openings on the left. Its walls and eight pillars are decorated in carefully arranged bones and skulls held together by cement. The ceiling is made of white painted brick and is painted with death motifs. The number of skeletons of friars was calculated to be about 5,000, coming from the cemeteries that were situated inside several dozen churches. Some of these skulls have been scribbled with graffiti. Two desiccated corpses, one of which is a child, are in glass display cases, and at the roof of chapel the phrase Melior est die mortis die nativitas, better is the day of death than the day of birth. Ecclesiastics 7:1 from Vulgate is written.
Yeah.
Inside the Capello des Osos, a poem about the need to reflect on one's existence hangs in an old wooden frame on one of the pillars. It is attributed to Friar Antonio de Asceo Talis, parish priest of the village of Sao Pedro, wherever the Church of St. Francis with its Capello dos Osos was erected from 1845 to 1848. And the poem is, "Where are you going in such a hurry, traveler? Pause. Do not advance your travel. You have no greater concern than this one, that which is now before your eyes. Recall how many have passed from this world. Reflect on your similar end. There is good reason to do so, if only all did the same. Ponder, you so influenced by fate, among the many concerns of the world, so little do you reflect on death. If by chance you glance at this place, stop, for the sake of your journey. The longer you pause, the further on your journey will be."
Yes, that's so true.
Padre Antonio de Asceo, translated by Father Carlos A. Martin. So,
I think it's funny that they tell you that the longer you stop, the further you go. Because everybody nowadays is like rush, 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 grind, 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 hustle, 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 and they think that takes you further. But like this is like old school telling you the longer you pause, the further you go. And it's just, I got told that directly through connection to source, and it's just lit. I don't know. That's just lit. I was right.
makes you open up.
Man, I wish people would do the same thing. This world would be so much less shot to shit. But anyway, it is what it is, right? Save who wants to be saved and let the rest kill themselves. Homicide at that point, no longer homicide.
I think there's a desecrated baby that they were talking about. That's on
And then,
here.
did you notice this has no year? That's what I was gonna say. This place has no year, and then it talks about how these bodies were dug up just to build this. Like
Yeah.
yeah. See, something's not right here, and this
And
is as early as
it,
2006.
it was decoration. Like, there was no freaking overwhelming amount of bodies or nothing. They just decided,
Just felt
hey,
like,
we gotta compete.
yeah, it just felt like digging up somebody. Hey, come on, let's just dig up some bodies and make us a church, like
You hear
or
what
something
them
that looks like.
You hear what those bohemians did?
Girl, we gonna keep up. We gonna have to, man. We gonna have to dig. How many bodies you said they had? They had 2,500. Oh, we gonna get us 5,000 bodies. and then we're gonna go ahead and make ours way bigger and way more extravagant. Like people
You got that right.
crazy.
You got
Like
that right.
it's like no need for it, no reason, no cause. It just felt like
Oh
building a
my
church.
God.
That's probably the sickest one. Wow, look at this. But look at how look. But look at listen. But look at how planned architecture comes out compared to the unplanned. Now this is actually kind of dope. Like they probably had a blueprint for it and everything, and like it
Uh-huh.
shows.
Did you
It
see?
shows. It
Did you
shows.
see this picture I'm showing?
That's what I was talking about. This person in a glass case. Then you
Uh-huh.
have, but look at the walls on the bottom of it. Is that marble? What is these velvet? But I mean, like, and then those are all
Yeah.
bones in the middle.
Now that
That's so
that
cool.
blue might be lapis lazuli,
Oh, let me see.
which is weird because people have been using lapis lazuli for a long time, and it always goes back to something spiritual.
Hmm.
Always. I
Lapis
mean,
lazuli. Let me put this up
in the
there.
color blue, period. I mean, like the walls of Babylon weren't lapis lazuli because it's expensive, but they made it to where it looked really, really close to it. You know what I mean? So, for the longest time, people did think it was made out of lapis lazuli.
Lapis lazuli. There it is. Lapis lazuli. In ancient Egypt, lapis lazuli was a favorite stone for amulets and ornaments. Okay. I was just, wow, look how pretty it is. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man, look how beautiful. You can buy this. Oh wow, I'm gonna get me some. They have crystals of lapis lazuli. How do I get some? I have so many crystals.
You
I
can
wonder if I
buy
have
them.
any in my jar.
I'm surprised
I'm
you
gonna
don't
look in my
have
jar
any.
and see if I have any. I might. I went mining at the Crayola experience, and when you mine there, they give you like I have some
No,
obsidian that I
I,
got from there.
I doubt
Some
they got
yeah,
lapis lazuli to mine. Trust me, that's like Middle East jewelry and stuff. Like you.
it's prepackaged bags, so if they
Oh,
do, you know
okay,
what I mean? Yeah, they
okay,
might type of thing, but I don't. I've seen this
okay.
somewhere, but I haven't seen it.
You're gonna have to explain to me now. Okay, exactly what are we talking about when you made the term or said the word mine? What are you doing there?
Oh, at Crayola Experience, it's like this little thing. For the kids, you do like coloring and stuff. Crayola Experience, like Crayola, the color, the
Yeah.
crowns and stuff. Well, there they have an area where you can actually mine, and you pay like $20 or whatever. They give you a bag of dirt, and they have a bunch of crystals. Like I got some obsidian from there. I got some emerald from there. I got some moon rock. I got a bunch of my crystals from there. I ordered my labradorite online though, but I wanted to see because I have a jar full of crystals too that I just kind of threw in. Lapis lazuli, I have some of it, but it's little. It's little teeny, 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 teeny ones,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to refer to my card because you can't tell, like you cannot tell what they are because they're so small. But I would like a big piece, like this one I'm looking at right here, lapis lazuli baratato crystalio arto. Like I would like something like it's so beautiful. Like this one's pretty too, but this one right here is just really attractive. Look, Zafiro. Oh, that's a different version. That's something. Oh, they put that's blue sapphire. Oh, that's something different. Look how pretty it is. Yeah, I gotta get me some of this.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it looks real good. I want to touch it. Just hold it in my hand and feel it because I know it's powerful. You know what I mean? Like my
Yeah.
fingers are just the rubbing. My fingers are going crazy. Like, give me the lapis lazuli. Give it to
We're
me
gonna have
now.
to we're gonna have to get you to read St. Mary's Church now.
It's like bring it down a notch. Bring it down.
It's just you're getting excited over lapis lazuli
Lapis,
now.
it looks so
Something's
pretty.
going on.
Wait, you gonna send me this
I'm gonna
link?
send the link. Yeah, here it is. Now
Okay.
it's your turn. I gotta get you distracted.
Right, it's like going to a lapis lazuli trance.
Yeah, watch him like do something else and get me to say something stupid.
Okay. The St. Mary's Church, Wamba. The Church of St. Mary at Wamba, province of Valladolid, Spain, is is a medieval building dating back to the Ronconquista. I know how to say it. Ronconquista Ronconquista. Yeah, Ronconquista. The eastern part of the building, around the Ronconquista was a like a war, some not a war, some type of age. I don't remember, but I know I heard that word before. The eastern part of the building is 10th century date, whereas the western part is 12th century. The church is of architectural interest and is being considered the World Heritage Site status along with nine other Mozarabic sites. It is currently on a tentative list, part of the nominating process. Okay. History. During the reign of King Recesswin, okay. During the reign of King Recesswin, Wamba had a royal residence and the existence of Visigothic church. There is also known remains of its decoration are the people that wrote this are just remains of its decoration are preserved in Museum of Valladolid. After the Umayyad conquest of Hispania, the area was reconquered by Christians under Alfonso III of Austria, who reigned 866 to 910. It seemed that with the subsequent repopulation, Wamba's then existing church was rebuilt. The oldest part of the current church is dated to the 10th century. There are documentary records of a monastery in Wamba at this time of which, excuse me, at this time of which the church is assumed to have been part. It was perhaps the first Mozarabic church in the area. Architecture. It has been suggested that Wamba was repopulated by people coming from the north, and that for this reason the architecture is closer to the Visigothic and Austrian influences than other buildings in the region, such as the Church of San Ciprian da Mazzotte, a village which was repopulated by Christians who came from Al Andalus. Burials. Queen Urraca. Queen
Rafa.
Urraca, yeah, Urraca of Portugal became a nun after the amulet of her marriage and was buried in the church. And annulment, excuse me. Queen Urraca of Portugal became a nun after the annulment of her marriage and was buried in the church. There is an ossuary, and then it
Yeah.
goes on to the gallery.
No,
Oh, this one at the top looks nice.
yeah, I looked at the gallery and I
Oh, this
showed
don't look like bones though.
I showed the pictures of the. They don't have very many pictures for this one.
It's only two, and then the one at the top, it does not even look like bones. And how do we know that this second one has anything to do? This could have just been a picture from someone else's.
We're gonna have to get a robot to go down there. He's gonna have to go to Portugal for us. Tell him we
Yeah,
got
so we could get pictures.
tell him we got him a freaking assignment, and he's got to pay us back for not showing up for that conspiracy
The
video.
COVID,
And
right? For the COVID one.
he's gonna have to, he's gonna have to pay us back. And then when he says, "Sure, why not? What do you want me to do?" We're gonna say, "You need to go to
This one's in
Portugal."
Spain. No, Spain.
Oh,
Yeah,
is it?
it's in Spain. Yeah, Valladolid, Spain. You're gonna have to go to Spain.
Then
And go
we're
ahead
gonna
and get
need,
us some real pictures.
we're gonna have to go to Spain and go to the freaking St. Mary's in Wamba.
Hmm.
And he'll be like, "Yes,
He'll
sir."
do it.
Yeah.
He'll do it. Just he'll like, I'll just have my man. I could only imagine tripping, going there because he'll be doing his trips and stuff. Imagine going there tripping and like a whole bunch of skulls just surrounding you. That'd be wild.
I forgot to screen share all that. I should probably do that now before we do it. And you need to keep talking to occupy me while I go through there and like tell me cool stuff like about the lapis lazuli and stuff like that. So
After the that, well, for this one, there's no more stuff. We already done it.
yeah,
Mozarabic buildings in the Iberian Peninsula, and yeah, El Raza, Alorza,
I'll go
Rib,
ahead. I'll go ahead and share the pictures, but I mean, for me, honestly, I don't see nothing interesting. You know
There's
what I mean?
nothing really to share at all. No, there's the interior kind of looks nice, but then when you zoom in, it's just like, oh wow, there's no bones here or anything. This is just a regular church.
Oh,
Like, oh,
when
nice.
we started this, though, remember I had to point out that this one was the freaking the one that was registered as the Dark Ages Osira or something like that, the Middle Ages.
Yeah, you called it something different. I said something. Where are my notes at? I done got comfortable laying down on the couch, and I have
It
my
was
notes
on
on my
that
iPad.
list, but then
Yeah,
the they they didn't even mention
and
the
it is
Mozo.
here.
Now Mozo,
Bozo, like the clown. No, are you talking about the medieval ossuary? That's this one.
yeah, that
Yeah, the
was the
medieval
one.
ossuary. But see, this picture that I have is a little different. And Wamba, Spain displays their bones in largely organized piles. See, it says, unlike some of the other bone churches, the medieval ossuary in Wamba, Spain display their bones in large organized piles. The main reason why the church simply stacked the bones was because of the lack of space remaining in the cemetery. The medical ossuary in Wamba is in the church of Santa Maria and contains the bones from the villagers who inhabited the village between the 12th and 18th centuries. There is a message over the entrance to the ossuary that reads, as you see yourself, I saw myself too. As you see me, you will see yourself. Everything ends in this. Think about it and you won't fall into sin.
That's cool. So we got freaking two poems that we put on here. We're cool as hell, dude. You know
Yeah,
that?
I love our streams. We got yeah.
I mean, we're even sharing art and freaking you know everything, dude. How can you outdo freaking this stuff? And this is on a video about strange stuff, man. It's pretty cool.
It is deep.
So we have come to the last of our stuff. So what? How much time? Oh, it took 2 hours and 21 minutes. We got this done. I didn't think it took 21 minutes though. That really
Yep,
surprises
it doesn't
me.
feel like it. I just looked at the time too and was like, wow, it's 8:30 already. Like it doesn't feel like it. Like we've
No,
been here. Yeah. I don't know if it's interesting. It makes time go by fast.
it's pretty cool. So, do you have anything to say about the stuff that we just did and we went through? Any
No,
closing
nothing.
statement?
I mean, besides it being pretty cool to learn about it, interesting to be able to see. Like, I'm sure it'd be better to see it up close and personal. But I just, like I said, the fact that stuff like this even exists fascinates me because I would never look at a person and be like, when you die, you'll make a good chandelier. So it's like, I don't know.
So,
It's
I,
just
I,
interesting.
I'll tell you what. One thing that we did bring up in this that I'll do at some point is we'll go through the uh, burial rituals from history, and we can cover that because there's a lot of fascinating things that you'll find out about the Welsh and the people in England and Ireland and all that, and their pagan roots, and how they used to bury their dead in mounds, stuff like that. And then the Welsh in Europe, period, they had the mounds all over Europe, being honest, all the way to Russia. So, and I think they even have them in Mongolia. I'm not. Don't quote me on that, but they might have them. So
History?
your fingers on the.
Oh, I said, couldn't that be his? Then that's like history.
Yeah, that's history. So
Mm-hmm.
uh, if there's nothing else, I guess we can end this and tell everybody goodbye and thank you for your time if you actually took time to watch it.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening and tuning in if you tuned in. And yeah, see us tomorrow for storytelling.
Thanks for being here too, Karma. I'm glad that we were able to do
Anytime.
it. And I will end the stream now. All right.
Oh, yep, see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Be safe.
You too.